Hello everyone, I hope you are all good. Today I want to share with you a few things that are keeping me excited over here. Perhaps you also try them out. So anyways, I'll start with this. This is the Light Radio 3 from Beta FPV. It usually comes in a white color. It's a white matte-ish, look. So basically the radio feels really good in the hands, with the texture. But the white, I'd had it for the longest time. This is the first radio I've had until now. It's actually the only radio I have. So I've decided to, color it. And how I painted it, I used ink from ballpoint pens, and it stuck on really well. I mean, when you wash it and do all that, so you basically just pour the ink on your hand, on your fingers, and then you just rub it almost like Vaseline, like you massage it on the material, and it won't go off. Well, my wife says it looks ugly, but I like ugly things. You get what I mean. And yeah, so that's one. The other thing about this radio, if you get any twitching, with the radio when you're, with your sticks, it happens a lot. I've had a lot of people complain about it online. What you have to do is open up your radio, and you open it up and you resolder. Let me show you what I mean. Right here in a Beta FPV configurator, if you see my sticks are quite responsive right down here. There's actually no twitching. The twitching you're seeing is because I was moving the sticks wrong. But if you can see, I don't know if I can do that. So it's so perfect, I did that because my radio was having, twitching, like it was doing that crazy stuff. I've seen other people struggle with this online. So I was like, no, I'm not buying a new radio when this radio is already so nice. So I had to open it up and resolder. I had to resolder the wires to the ports. I resoldered them myself and they look good. So it's quite stable. So every time you have issues with this radio, that means the soldering, something is wrong with the wires. So you have to open it and you solder them yourself. So my radio is quite fine right now. And it's perfect. I mean, right now, if you go on their website, the radio is only $35 US. I mean, and it's it's Express ELRS, so that's quite a good deal. The other thing I want to talk about is my tiny whoops. All my tiny whoops are from Beta FPV Meteor 65. It's empty right now because I switched the organs, the insides to this. So I have this right now instead of the Meteor 65. Well, basically it's a Meteor 65 with just a different frame. So this is the old frame. I have quite a lot of frames right here, but yeah, I've used a couple of frames like so many times, burnt them up, glued them back, just to save my frames, though I have many. But I basically have 3 of these. So this is the only one I've converted so far. I have a new one that I haven't touched, and I have another, the older one that, that show what life is. So basically, I have got the insides of the Meteor 65 and put them on this frame. Now this frame is from the Pavo 20. Now the Pavo 20 was a big disappointment for me, because when I got my O3, I thought, well, the Pavo 20 will do some amazing cinematic flying for me. It was so terrible because it had, these things in frame, you could see them. In the camera frame, you could see them. That was annoying, first of all. The other thing, its flying is not that good. It screams a lot. Well, the flying, you can get away with it fine. If you think you're a good pilot, you can get away with that. If you think you're a good pilot, you can't really complain about the flying of a quad. You just have to fly it a couple of times and then get used to the tune, or tune it up to your preference and then fly. But it screamed a lot, and that was my biggest problem with it. And I had bought 3 frames of the Pavo 20, so I have 4 frames actually. So meaning I have 4 of these. So this is basically the carbon fiber frame from the Pavo 20 that holds out everything that you put. That's why you put your flight controller and all that. So I saw that, wow, this is actually really small. I think I could do something with that. So I got my 103 motors from Beta FPV that come with a Pavo 20, and I put them on that frame. I actually left them on that frame, and then I got the Meteor 65 flight controller and the canopy, plus also the props, the 2-inch props, still from the Pavo 20, and I put them on here, and I flew that. They are they are still Gemfan. I think 2-inch, I think 2023 or 2024, but they're quite amazing. These are the ones I think that come with the Mobula 8. So I got those, put them on this build. If you have a Pavo 20 and you want an analog build or whoop that is very silent, this is the way to go. I have never had a quad so quiet like this. I mean, you can literally fly. Even my Meteor 65, when I go out there to a guerrilla whoop flight around people hear it, and it catches people's attention. And plus, it's not good with the wind. This thing is good with the wind. And I fly it on these batteries. I mean, nothing amazing. It's still the same, 300 mAh batteries from 1S batteries from Beta FPV. I only have 4 of these, so I can imagine flying it with the 450s, for the 65, for the Meteor 75. But this is already perfect for me. I mean, it is amazing. It is good with the wind. I can fly through the wind so well. I can, and I know somebody might disagree with that, but if you are a persistent pilot and you know what it means to fight the wind with a Meteor 65 or with a 65 tiny whoop, and you fly this, it's like you're flying a 3-inch or a 3.5, or because I have a 3.5 inch here, the Volador V3 with the Cadex Polar, and I can tell you this thing flies good, and this thing flies really good. I can say almost similar to that, so this and that, the only difference is that this is analog and it's small. So I can't wait to build something this small with a digital camera. I mean, that would be so sick. And let's see how much it weighs, because I'm sure that's something people would like to see. So we know the Meteor 65 weighs 22 grams, without the camera on it. So with this one, let's see. I actually just thought of weighing it today. I've never weighed it before. So that is let's see, 35.93 grams. That is really good. I mean, it reminds me of the what's the quad called? The Beta FPV, the Meteor 85. The Meteor 85 is yeah, a little bit heavier. I think it's about 36 grams. So I think this is heavier because of the carbon fiber, but the carbon fiber makes the flying so amazing. So the other thing is maybe with the Meteor 65, a comparison to the Meteor 65. Let me see my other Meteor 65. Let me put that. Yeah, as you can see, this is more of a new one. I've never actually flown this, not one bit. I mean, because it's more of an accolade or a collector's item right now. I don't think I'm gonna fly this anytime soon. Because now I can, get away with my own builds. I can do. So look at this and that. 2-inch props. 30 millimeter props. Same canopy, same innards, different frames. This is the Meteor, and this the Meteor 65, and then this is, I mean, I don't know if you can see the comparison. They almost are the same size. This is just a little bit bigger. But guys, this is so amazing. So under there, how I hold the battery, I used these, let me get them out. These tiny cable ties. They are, let me see what size these are. I don't even know what size this is, but they are the smallest cable ties that I could find. So they are what I fly with this. I just hooked them through the frame, and it holds the battery a certain way. It holds it in a diagonal way, but it is perfect. Let me try to show you how I put in the batteries. So this is how I put the battery. It goes in a diagonal way, but it's so balanced. I mean, look at that. It's balanced from the other side to the other side, from the front to the back. But even when you're flying, you don't feel any tilting because of the weight of the battery, because it's just so perfect when it's flying. So I just wanted to share this build. If you want something so quiet that you can literally fly anywhere indoors, if you're not worried about props being exposed, yeah, of course you have to be confident flying a quad without props. Prop guards. So I'm glad I can fly without prop guards, and I'm not worried. So these motors, they are on the Meteor 65, the 08. What are they called? The 08 the 08 2SEs. They're great motors for each size, but these make it a beast. This is literally a beast. It's like you're flying a 3.5 inch, and a 3.5 inch is the biggest quad I've flown in my life. I don't know how much I don't know much about 4 inches or 5 inches or 6 and above. 3.5 is the biggest I've flown, and you know how floaty it feels. This thing is so responsive and floaty. So the other Meteor 65 that I have, the one that I've been flying mostly like indoors, getting the beat downs and all, it's like be my daily carry is this. Yeah, I mean you can see the frame. The frame is also beat down. I cut the frame because I was trying to do stuff with the weight. The frame had broken and it was shaky when I'm flying, and let me tell you something, this is useless. It's very useless. This is a wasted frame because the quad is very shaky. I mean, lots of vibrations because the frame is not firm. Yeah, unless maybe I connect these joints here, this to that, then the quad will be stable. But right now, never cut your frames, your Meteor 65 frames. They come perfect. I mean, these frames are so perfect, you don't need to ever modify them or anything. I see people do that modification online. Maybe they know what they're doing, and I didn't know what I was doing, but in my opinion, these frames are perfect, man. So yeah, so that's what I have. Yeah, I determined to only fly tiny whoops. I only went to bigger quads because of the digital, you know, more battery and all that. But now I'm going to keep trying making tiny builds like that, so that, and I'm going to try more with digital so that I can always fly low in small spaces. And you see, the thing is, here in South Africa, when you're flying, I go out and fly gas stations, at the mall, outside the mall. I haven't flown in a mall yet, but you know, parking lots, and I'm testing it out with people. And with the tiny whoops, it's, people are just so fascinated seeing them, rather than getting mad of you flying in that space. They're actually interested to know more about these quads. They always ask, do you build these, do you do that? A lot of questions, but no one ever gives you any hell, you know, when you're flying out there. But if I'm to go with this is a little bit loud, you know. If I'm to go with this 3.5 inch, it's a 3 inch. If I go with this 3 inch, people, it will make noise. If you pull attention, it's not so loud. It's not as loud as a Pavo. A Pavo is so loud, but still noticeable. So I got all the components from the Twig XL, the 3.5 Twig XL from Beta FPV, and I got the motors, the flight controller, and all that, and I aligned the flight controller on this, because this is meant to use a stack, but now I'm using a diamond arranged flight controller from the Twig XL. So that's why I have these strings holding it down. So when I'm flying and I over throttle, I feel vibrations because, you know, of the flight controller not being you know, really stable. It flies well, it does the rolls, it does the flips all well. It's just that when you throttle up so much, when you hit the throttle so much, it you see that jello. It's because of the vibrations that come with the flight controller. So, but I mean, the improvisation is already impressive to me because this thing flies really amazing. If you fly it right, if you throttle the right way, then you won't see that vibration. So yeah, so I just wanted to share my build. If you have a Pavo 20, I hate these things. I'm sorry to say, Beta FPV has amazing quads. In my opinion, they have really amazing quads. But when it came to the O3 on this thing, it was quite terrible. I mean, the only thing I found terrible with that was the noise. That's all. Everything else was okay. It was the noise. I don't even care about the flight time, but the noise. And that's what I'm trying to avoid with all my quads. That annoying noise, you know, the screaming. So Screaming was too much with that. This thing is silent. I think I'm going to go and try to give you a comparison, maybe with a Meteor, and we see what happens. Thanks.